all empathic sensitive souls. Happy Monday. How is everyone? Start of another week, and it is Halloween week. Oh, I'm so excited. So normally I only get maybe 10 kids. One year I got 20. I thought that was pretty good. So I went to a big store and I bought a 30-pack of large candy bars. They were the same price as a bag of the mini candy bars. And I figured, a kid could have their pick. I also have non-chocolate candy like gummies and stuff like that too. But it's going to be interesting because we're expecting really cold weather. I guess not super cold, but cold. And for the little ones to be out running around, we have a village hall that has hot dogs and a movie, I think, and little stations for the little kids to go to and pick up candy. I think everybody heads there to catch the Halloween movie. So I don't know if I'll even have any kids on Friday night. So last week we had the rescue card. You're free to be yourself. And in order to be free to be yourself, you have to be okay with yourself. And I struggle with that. I still do. And I probably always will, because those insecure feelings, when I start feeling confident and really good, then something triggers me and I go back down around it and have to work on healing myself again. So trying to step into who I truly am and who I want to be as a confident person, it was tough last week. The emotions were topsy-turvy. There was a lot going on in the world in general. People at work, everybody's a little by this time of year, because it's been, at least we haven't had a ton of overtime, but it's been a busy year. And for the most part, we're rather rural, and this is the time where people, especially the men, start getting ramped up to go deer hunting. And years ago, around Thanksgiving, the whole plant would rotate, taking weeks off for layoff. And we don't do that anymore because we're busy pretty much year round. So I think people are, you know, it's that time of year where people, the guys want to go hunting. Most people, male or female, enjoy the hunting season around here. It's a local thing. It's a Wisconsin thing. Deer camp, whatever. Do I hunt? No. Do I mind hunting? No. It's a whole thing. I know some people get upset with hunting, but there are so many white-tailed deer around here, it is ridiculous. And if they're the population, because we don't have wolves, we don't have a natural predator. We do have wolves, but not enough to make a huge dent in the deer population. The humans have to become the natural predator of the deer. Otherwise, there would be no fields left. It's a balancing act. I'm not going to get into that whole thing. But I'm just saying that people, this is a time of year for the harvest, for people to come together, for eating and celebrating and relaxing after the huge rush of getting the harvest in. And we don't do that anymore. Not as a society. Now on the farm, I grew up on a farm, they're still in full bore trying to get corn out of the fields before it gets rainy and mucky and they can't get in the fields. They're still pushing, trying to get everything harvested for the year. But then it is, the winter seems to be, because with cows, especially dairy cows, they don't know it's Christmas and they don't know it's a holiday. They don't know you're tired and you want the day off, because they can't. So the work doesn't end, but just the mass rush to get everything out of the fields, that portion ends. But I remember as a kid, we used to come together, we used to pile in the kitchen. There were 7 of us kids around the kitchen table. We'd play gin rummy. Mom would have some kind of soup or fresh baked bread, or after school there'd be cookies. but we'd all come together as a family. Now, do we all get along? No, but in those moments we'd come together and we would have we'd have fun. And it would only last for so long because there were chores to be done. We had to feed the cows, we had to feed the calves, there was stuff to clean there, right? But then we'd come back in the house after everything was done, and at night mom would get popcorn and we'd pile on the couch and watch movies or Disney, whatever was on TV. And it was a slower time of life. And now we're push, 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 rush, 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 and we don't have time to slow down. So that was last week. My card, the rescue card. This week we pulled the education card. It's a beautiful card. I love the colors. She's reading a book by Fairy Light. Isn't that amazing? I love the card. So the education card. Where did my book disappear to? I found my book. There is nothing wrong with education. Life is filled with lessons. Be teachable. Well, my alarm's going off telling me I need to start getting ready for work. Wisdom comes from participating in life, not just reading about it. And it's really hard for kids nowadays to do that. Because where are they? They're in front of the phone, they're in front of the TV. They're, especially during the 2019-2020, kids were kept separate, kept apart. And even the schools noticed, without the kids being in school, the difference in their behaviors, in their learning. So it's kind of a strange thing, isn't it? You might not have enough knowledge about what you seek, the direction to take, your circumstances, or the nature of your inquiry. Important information is coming. Now's the time to go to school, ask a person who knows, find a teacher, course of study, so you can more clearly understand what the next action should be. Sometimes life sends unexpectedly stuff, and you must learn by experience. Now's the time to be teachable, open to changing your preconceived notions. Be a student and be willing to learn. The most powerful mantra of all, I don't know yet. I was just talking with my niece about my great niece and her grades. And as a child, it's hard in the schools because they're there to teach, but yet they have an expectation that you should already know. And everything is so fast-paced for the kids nowadays that it's hard to ask questions, to stop the class and ask a question. And I told my great niece, I said, you're going to school because you don't know this stuff. You're learning this stuff. If you don't know something, ask your teacher. If you don't want to ask your teacher, you can ask your mom, you can ask your grandmom, you can ask me. And if we don't know, what do? We look it up, we Google it. That's our encyclopedia nowadays. We had to go look in the library. We had to go get a paper book, or we had to ask mom and dad. But it's okay not to know everything. And you don't have to rush through all your homework because nobody wants to take homework home. Well, quite frankly, parents don't have the time nor the energy to have the kids sit down and do homework with them. Now, my niece is more than willing to send home what she needs to work on. I'll work through it with her. So then she understands it and she gets it, because just because the teacher teaches it doesn't mean that the kid's picking it up the way the teacher is teaching. I wish I had a teacher that could have taught me math the way I learn math, because I don't understand. And I still don't understand. My other niece, she had a tutor because she was struggling so much in algebra. Or what other class comes at, trigonometry. Something wasn't clicking for her. So her dad found a tutor. And the tutor, it wasn't clicking. They found a new tutor. That didn't click either. So the tutor where they took her, they found a young lady going to a local college, and the young lady is a tutor, and her and my niece hit it right off, and she explained it, and my niece got it. Phew, not a problem. Wow. A different way of looking at things, a different way of explaining things. It's never easy, but be teachable. Be open to, yeah, I don't know about that. Can you tell me about that? Can you show me? Can you teach me about that? And it's even hard in the workplace because they expect you to just automatically remember and know. Okay, so it's been 5 years since I've had to do some of these duties that they have me do. And things have changed enough that I don't know how to do them anymore. You're going to have to show me. Well, you used to do it. If it don't stick in my head, it's not going to happen. I only have so much space, and if I'm not doing it on a daily basis or a weekly basis or a monthly basis for over a year, I don't remember. That's just the way it is. And I finally learned that about myself, that I've only got a capacity to remember so many things. You're going to have to walk me through it. And I'm okay telling them, guys, you gotta, it's not up here anymore. It's in a locked file cabinet. I can't access it anymore. And then we laugh and we giggle, and then they have to explain what they're talking about. And sometimes I have to go try to do whatever it is they want me to do, and then come back and ask questions. Oh, that I knew I was missing a step. So the education card. Read, be open. Sometimes talking to new people or somebody outside your normal group can make you stop and think and give you a different perspective. So be teachable. Education. That's the word on the week this week. I hope that you all have a fantastic week. I'll hop back in on Wednesday, see how the week is going, see how many educational, teachable moments that come across for me during the week. There's going to be some, because today we have new software coming in. Whoo, boy, it's going to be a good one. I'm going to have to sit down and get ready to get my cup of coffee, of course, and get ready to learn on the fly. It's going to be awesome. I'll check it on Wednesday. Bye for now, everyone.